Greetings, comrade, and welcome aboard. Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions leading to a beautiful audio experience that will make you fall in love with music all over again. So, let's talk about the Philips SHP9500 and compare it with the venerable HD600, shall we? This headphone comparison is going to contain, spoiler alert, my opinions.
What? Oh no!
Oh yeah!
So try not to cry about it and bang too hard on your keyboard as you're vigorously typing out an angry opinion, attacking me because you're insecure about your own cognitive dissonance, yeah? If you want to exercise your freedom, go ahead and give it a thumbs down now so you can prevent your blood pressure from skyrocketing later when you inevitably get butthurt over something as trivial as a product comparison. Alright mate, let's get right into build. Disregarding cables, the Philips SHP9500 comes in at a whopping 287 grams versus the 265 for the HD600. Or 100 if you're white. Both headphones are open back and deceptively rugged, but I find that for under $100, the SHP9500 shouldn't feel quite as durable and heavy as it is. Similarly, the HD600 is also very rugged and solid, but there have been reports of the headband snapping under pressure like Henry Hill from Goodfellas.
I wonder about you sometimes, Henry. You may fold under questioning.
Still, I've owned one since 2016 and have had zero issues with it, and even despite running over the cable hundreds of times, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking like Mick Foley, yeah? The HD600 is perhaps one of the most streamlined designs of all time, which is most certainly one of its main assets. The headband adjustments are quite reliable, all parts are replaceable, and the headphone has survived numerous drops from yours truly without so much as breaking a sweat. The 9500 by contrast is a bit dummy thicker, like Solid Snake or Solid Lad.
Dummy thick.
But its headband adjustments actually seem more solid, if you can believe it. The cable is much shorter this time around, and while both are detachable, the 9500 is your standard 3.5mm that works quite nicely with the boom mic as well. The 9500 is mostly plastic, but it's a rugged plastic that's held up for me remarkably well since about May of 2018 when I bought it on Newegg for around $54. A point of contention is of course the R&L indicators, which are plastered in big block letters on each side of the ear cups where the grills are. While it doesn't bother me, there is a cool paint modification that you can do if you're feeling frisky and desire a more uniform appearance, yeah? Link below! Link below! Both of the headphones have click adjustments, but the 9500s are of the window variety and are numbered so you can match them accordingly on the right and left sides. Lastly, both headphones have their company's names on the top of the headband, with the 9500s being engraved versus the embossment of the Sennheiser HD600. Now, what about comfort? Both of these headphones are some of the most comfy on the planet, but each sits a bit differently on your head, yeah? The HD600 is notorious for having quite a bit of a tight clamp at first, but it does open up over time, while the 9500s admittedly sit rather loosely on your melon. The padding on each is also a bit different, as the HD600 sport the velour that we've all come to know and love, versus the rougher cloth-like material on the 9500. Both have ample padding, but the HD600 contains the 4 nugget pads versus the uniform single pad on the 9500. It's sort of attached quite strangely to the bottom of the headband itself near each of the ear cups, but it's extremely comfortable and doesn't dig into your noggin, much like the HD600s don't dig as well. I wouldn't call one necessarily better than the other in terms of overall comfort, as I enjoy both for different reasons. When I wear an HD600, it feels like I'm receiving a warm hug from an old friend. When I wear a 9500, it feels as though nothing is there a lot of the time. Neither dig into my head, neither are invasive to my ears, and both are perfect for those long marathon sessions, whether you're mixing or mastering a track, listening to music, or in the case of the 9500, gaming and watching film. Speaking of intended usage, let's get right into sound, imaging, soundstage, and genre pairing, shall we? The sound of these two headphones is quite different to be sure, but as far as detail retrieval, the 9500 provides just as much at a fraction of the cost without the need for an amp. Plus, it's not as veiled sounding by comparison. Now, before you smash that dislike button, get triggered, and click to another video that reinforces your own bias, let's talk about the sound signature, shall we? In a nutshell, 9500's upper mid-range / low treble can be problematic at times, while the HD600's mids at about 2 to 3K are too forward for my taste, rendering vocals a bit too in your face and invasive. So, let's recap. Both headphones are flawed. Both headphones have issues. Both headphones are not perfect. Comparing the two side by side, you will notice a stark contrast in terms of overall sound, as the 9500 is infinitely more crisp, clean and open, with better soundstage, better imaging to my ears, and arguably a better detail retrieval. Now this may be due to its brighter character up top, but I haven't found one single simp over the last 4 years complaining about the DT880's bright treble amidst their circle jerk wank fest, yeah? If you're going to sit in your mom's basement, bitching and moaning about a cheap as dirt headphone that leans towards bright, then you also must point out the dozens of other more expensive headphones with the same exact character. If you don't, then you're simply reinforcing a double standard, and you should probably stop giving your misinformed opinions online and confusing others who have no interest in squabbling over your precious audiophile hobby. Lastly, as far as the boss,
I caught you a delicious bass.
the 9500 is a bit lighter and does roll off a tad more, but I find the difference between it and the HD600 to be fairly minuscule, all things considered. In short, I enjoy both of these from many of the same genres: hip-hop, indie pop, rock, etc. I think the 9500 does a much better job for gaming and film, as the sound is quite a bit more open and spacious, with plenty of air and a wider, deeper image. The 9500 also tends to perform a bit better for lighter genres such as classical and jazz for many of the same reasons, while the HD600 is quite a bit more boxed in sounding. As far as amplification is concerned, you won't really need much for the 9500, given its very efficient 101 decibels per milliwatt sensitivity, coupled with its very low 32 ohm impedance. The HD600, by contrast, has a very high impedance at 300 ohm, but a very middle of the road 97 decibels per milliwatt sensitivity, right on the cusp of being considered low in my estimation. It resists power a bit more, but only requires about 20 milliwatts from an amp to perform optimally. In any event, most headphone amp DACs will do just fine, as it's not very picky and sounds good out of many different offerings. So turn that frown upside down, mate. If you need help choosing, check out my article below and leave me a comment letting me know, yeah? So, what's the final word here? Both of these headphones are most certainly flawed in a couple of contrasting ways, but I still own both and I still enjoy both. While each of them can be used in similar scenarios, I find that the 9500 is a bit more versatile in that it works very well for gaming and film, whereas the HD600 really doesn't. The HD600 also doesn't represent the entire frequency spectrum quite as well as a 9500, but there are times when I simply prefer listening to a 600 more so than the 9500. It just really depends on my mood, the genre, as well as the intended application. The feeling of listening to an HD600 is like returning to a familiar place that holds some of your most cherished memories. It's comfort food for the soul, while the 9500 is more practical, utilitarian, and highly versatile to boot. Even so, there's a reason the HD600 is still relevant after all these years. It just sounds right, almost perfect even despite its flaws, but
It's for you to decide. It's up to you.
if you're new to audio and interested in the HD600 and how it relates to other headphones, go ahead and click on that playlist to my left and hit me up if you have any questions, mate. Well, that's about it for today, guys. Leave me some love down in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. If you like what I do here and you want to support the channel in a more personal way, hit that Patreon link down below. And last but not least, don't forget to ask me about my grandchildren. Don't feed the troll. And most importantly, don't ever give up.
Yeah. For all the fake rappers out there. Yeah. Smokey Robinson, one time. Old school, man. Esoteric Eric.
Who's that?
Check it. Who is it? It's Stu Black, here I am with the review once again. By this point you gotta know I'm deadly with the pen. You wanna battle me? I'll gladly take the win. You whip a caddy, but it's wrecked. I'm rolling fatties and I'm spent. Call me Lassie, I'm legit. I saved the day, but I'm no fever pitch. I'm kinda sick, I spit retarded. I'm autistic and it fits. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. It's a cinch, you overthinking it again. I'm dropping wisdom in a pinch. I know you listening to this, cause I be ripping it to bits. I get the gabbing, I'm on my I'm popping red pills and I'm rich. I'll make you quiver with my lips. I'll make you shiver with my stanzas. It's a hit like Sinatra in the mob. I come equipped a little bit like Tech 9. I keep it lit, a fire sign. I'm dangerous, out of control. I majored and I play to win. Do me a favor and just quit.
Dummy thick.